From the roar of the crowd to the roar of the engine, this is Pit Pass.
Here's your host, Ron Fox.
Thanks for joining us for the beginning of our third season of Pit Pass right here on WHVL. Now, if you're not familiar with the show, each week I will make a trek to various racetracks across the Keystone State. I will have highlights, results, winners' interviews, feature stories, news, and previews of special upcoming events. Across the bottom of the screen, you can see results from different racetracks and information pertaining to them. On this week's show, we are at Port Royal Speedway for the Bob Weichert Memorial, featuring the All-Star Circuit of Champions Sprint Cars. And we'll look ahead to some races to mark on your schedule. But first, let's get things started with some dirt car action from Friday night at Lernerville Speedway. It's the 410 Sprints in a 25-lap feature. Dan Kuriger in the 08 would lead the 13-car field to the green. Outside pole sitter Gail Ruth Jr. in the 1R chooses the middle lane as they go into turns 1 and 2. Brian Ellenberger in the 20 machine runs the high side. Off the turn, Ellenberger powers by Ruth, while Rod George in the C3 dives under Ruth to battle Ellenberger for second place. Going into turn 1, the pair are able to close on Kuriger. Off of 2, they motor by the 08 and are neck and neck for first place as they approach turn 3. Through the turns, George has just enough bite to lead the lap. On the next circuit, the number 13 of Brandon Mattis challenges Kuriger for the third spot, while his father Brent Mattis in the 33 runs in the 5th position. For a couple of laps, George and Ellenberger were in a virtual dead heat for the lead. On lap 5, Ellenberger gains a slight advantage heading into turn 1. Off of 2, George stumbles exiting the turn, and Ellenberger claims the top spot. With 9 laps down, Brandon Mattis is able to work the outside of George to take over the runner-up position. Kevin Schaefer in the yellow number 9 won the previous week's season opener. After starting near the rear of the field, here he inches closer to the top 5 as he disposes of Kuriger. Brent Mattis would dog George for third place throughout the remainder of the event. Meanwhile, his son Brandon could not close on Ellenberger for the lead. Here he encounters last year's champ Carl Bowser in the 10 and the 66 of Chris Best. Up front, Brian Ellenberger would hold on to win the caution-free 25-lapper. Brian, congratulations on the win. Certainly a nice comeback after your problems last week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we finished the season last year having some trouble on that front straightaway with we've been wrecked a few times there, and it hit us again last week. So, yeah, this week's nice to kind of get a little revenge on the racetrack.
Let's talk about that move for the lead and the eventual win.
Well, you know, this track was, you know, it's one of those nights where you just really had to be patient, and you really had to throttle the car. You really had to pick your points on the racetrack, and you know, Rod, George, and I ran side by side there for the lead for, you know, 2-3 laps, and I really felt like that bottom wasn't going to stay there very long, and Rod was on the bottom, so that's why I just kept it up top and figured that that would end up being the preferred line. So.
Well, certainly there are some top runners here, but we didn't see quite the car counts that we're accustomed to seeing. What would you contribute that to?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it was the weather. Maybe these guys are, you know, fair weather guys. I don't know. I know we lost one car to the All-Star races out in central Pennsylvania. And, yeah, I hope these other guys come back. I mean, I love seeing a full field of cars. It makes it a lot better for the fans. And as far as I'm concerned, you know, the more cars we have out there, the better it is. So.
And what are Brian Ellenberger's plans for the whole season here?
Well, you know, we're just kind of playing it week by week, to be honest with you. I think you're going to see us here at Lernerville more this year than we typically are. I can't say we're going to be here every week. We're probably going to go out and run a couple big shows. We'd like to go out to Knoxville and run the Nationals this year. You know, go down to Charlotte for the finals, and you know, maybe we can fill in with you know, some speed week stuff, maybe a couple races out in Ohio or whatnot. So we're really just kind of up in the air, but I think you will see us here at Lernerville a lot more.
So it's Brian Ellenberger with a sprint car win, followed by Brandon Mattis, Rod George, Brent Mattis, and Kevin Schaefer. The 99 of Boone Briggs and 17 of Keith Barbara paced the late model field to start the 25-lap feature. Through the first turns, Barbara has a slight lead over Briggs as they head down the backstretch. As they head into turn 3, Briggs dives low in an attempt to move past the black 17. Off of 4, Barbara powers past Briggs to complete lap 1. On lap 8, Greg Satterley in the number 22 pressures the veteran Ron Davies in the 71 for the 4th position. Ahead of them, Lynn Geisler looks to take the second spot away from Briggs. By lap 10, Barbara has a couple of car lengths lead on Briggs, with Geisler still in hot pursuit. Davies comes to a stop on the backstretch to bring out a caution with 12 laps in the books. With the top side working well for him, Barbara chooses the outside lane on the restart. Going into turn 1, Satterley makes a bid for second place, with Briggs and Geisler hugging the bottom. Off of turn 2, the 22 closes quickly on the 99. Just as Briggs gains on Barbara going into 3, he hits some rough stuff that upsets the car. Jared Miley in the H1 and John Garvin Jr. in the black J4 run side by side for the 5th position. Coming off of turn 2, Geisler pushes a little high, opening the door for Miley and Garvin to gain positions. Meanwhile, up front, Satterley rockets past Briggs and into second place. A caution with 14 down bunches the field. Mike Johnson also suffers some major damage, but continued to race for a few laps. Back under green, Satterley challenges Barbara for the lead. He tries to hug the bottom, but can't keep pace with Barbara through the turns. The 17 ride is first to the line. A lap later, the yellow flies again for the stop machine of Doug Eck. When they go back to racing action, Miley is able to take third away from Briggs, and second place is in sight. Satterley gets hooked up on the top side of 4 and makes his move on Barbara for the lead going into turn 1. Off of turn 2, Satterley takes the lead, squeezing by the 17 on the low side of 1 and 2. Miley would eventually pass Barbara for second, while Garvin challenges Briggs for 5th place with a couple of laps to go. Satterley ran the rest of the race unchallenged to pick up the late model victory. Here's Greg and company celebrating the win. Miley, Barbara, Briggs, and Garvin round out the top 5. Later in the show, we will go back to Lernerville for more racing action. But up next, it's the Bob Weichert Memorial at the rejuvenated Port Royal Speedway featuring the All-Star Sprints. That and more when Pit Pass returns.
When you think golf carts, think Jake's Custom Golf Carts. With over 300 stock and lifted carts at their shop, you'll find the cart you need or have Jake's build one to your specs. Custom airbrushing, lift kits, sport shifters, rear seats. You name it, with the expertise and craftsmanship people have come to expect from Jake's. Come see for yourself why Jake's is the nation's premier golf cart provider. Jake's Golf Carts, Route 522 McVeigh Town. Online at jakesgolfcarts.com.